This week, the bonus video is about Universal Studios Florida, woo! And it's my top 3s. I've done a couple of top 3 videos before, and they've mainly been about either the Orlando area or Disney, but this one is just for Universal. There's not as many categories for this because a lot of the things sort of repeat itself, and Universal are going through quite a bit of change at the moment, with new rides coming out and things like that, so I think I'll do another one of these once I've been back out there in a couple of years' time, and just see what I think about then. Because there's only 2 parks, I can't do a favourite park really because they're both equally as good, so I'm just going to kick it off with favourite rides, and I've done it separately for 2 different parks. I can't judge out of all of them because there'd be like 5 at number 1, so I've split it between parks. So my number 3 for Islands of Adventure is Jurassic Park River Adventure. It's the log flume, well, not log flume, water ride. You sit in rows of 5, I think it is, 4 or 5, and you go around and you see the dinosaurs, and then something goes wrong as it normally does, and you end up going down a pretty much near vertical drop. I'm not going to ruin the surprise of what happens before the drop, but there are plenty of videos on YouTube that show you what happens, so if you're intrigued, go and have a look. It's great fun. You don't get as wet as on the other rides, but it's still a good one. My second favourite is Hulk, Incredible Hulk roller coaster. They've just done it up recently and the improvements are so much better. It's so much smoother, you don't bang your head as much, and I think you go upside down 7 times, you get shot out of a tunnel at the start. It's just a lot of good fun, and go and again look at videos on YouTube, there's plenty of them, but it's good fun, and I think Ellen has been on it with like Kevin Hart maybe. There's a hilarious video I think of Ellen on it, so go check those out. Holding the number 1 spot in Islands of Adventure is the Harry Potter's Forbidden Journey in the Hogwarts Castle. I can't even explain this ride. It's just insane. It's insanely good, and I don't want to ruin it for you. You can ruin it for yourself if you want, on YouTube, but if you are going, you need to ride that ride. It's like nothing I've ever been on before. Holding the number 3 spot in the Studios park is the Mummy roller coaster. My mum doesn't like roller coasters, or doesn't like ones that go upside down or go really fast, but this one she loves, and when we went on it in LA she dragged me on 5 times. She had to drag me back on because she wanted to go on it again. I think it was the fastest indoor roller coaster in the world at one point when it was first opened, use words, and yeah, it's just so much fun. It goes backwards at one point, I will tell you that. It's a little special effects that go on as you're riding it, and as I say, indoor roller coaster, mummy themed. What could possibly go wrong? My number 2 sort of goes in between both parks, and it's not really a major ride, but it's still a ride really, and it's the Hogwarts Express train. They built that when they built the new when they replaced Jaws with Diagon Alley, and the London sort of area of Hogwarts, not Hogwarts, Harry Potter. Both journeys have different sort of things, so you sit in a cabin like Harry and Hermione and all of them did, and the window changes and it shows the scenery. You go through London, and each way has a different video sort of thing, and it feels like you're riding the Hogwarts Express. It just feels so cool. And when you get off, if you got on in in King's Cross, you get off at Hogsmeade, and then if you get off on at Hogsmeade, you get off at King's Cross. So it works like the actual journey, and it's just, yeah, you need to ride it to really get the story, because I can't tell you what happens. I just know like roughly what happens on what journey, but I don't know the exact ins and outs. Yeah, it's a nice sort of way to get in between the parks. If you don't want to walk around, you might as well just get on that and go to the other one. It's a good way to sit down and have a chill out. Number 1 is Escape from Gringotts. Again, like the other Hogwarts ride, it's like no other ride I've ever been on. 3D, roller coaster, breathtaking. It's breathtakingly good. Similar like car to The Mummy. And I will say, if you are a larger person, those 2 cars, the ride cars, are a little tight. I mean, I don't have any problems getting on, and my mum gets on. She's a tiny bit bigger than me. But definitely at Universal in particular, Disney you don't really have problems, but at Universal, check the ride seats before you go on, because normally they're a good indication of where you can sit, because they do have modified cars for certain roller coasters, so the seats are slightly modified, so you can go on them. So if you're unsure whether you'll get on or not, just double check in the seats, but I got on, I was fine. So just definitely check those out if you're worried. The next category I did was shows / 3D rides, so like the ones that are sort of in a cinema kind of thing. And to kick it off, at number 3 is the Minions ride. It used to be Jimmy Neutron, and I loved it when it was that, and I love it when it's the Minions. I absolutely adore the Minions. Bye-bye. I love Minions, I love Despicable Me, and the kids will love this too. It's great fun. You'd sort of sit in a cinema and move around, and it's like you become a minion and work for Gru. So yeah, it's great family entertainment. My number 2 is a show that's no longer there. It's been replaced by Fast and Furious, which apparently isn't that good. But it's Beetlejuice's Graveyard Revue, I think that's what it was called. And basically it was a show with Beetlejuice, and he called on his fellow sort of horror stars like Dracula, Frankenstein's Bride, and Wolfman. And they basically rocked out on stage, played guitar, sang, and yeah, really cool music, and it was just a good show to sit down for half an hour and have a good time. And the talent that they normally had was insane. It was so good. So it's a shame that they got rid of that, really, because I really enjoyed it, and I think it was a few people enjoyed it. My number 1 is a 3D ride, and it is Spider-Man. What they've done with this ride is it's like a normal sort of 4D experience. So you've got 3D goggles, but instead of being in like a cinema that just moves the chairs, you're in a vehicle that actually moves forward and backwards, a bit like Star Tours in Disney. Moves forward and backwards, but actually like doesn't just lean, it moves, and it goes up, and yeah, it's so clever. And the story they've done with it is Dr. Octo's stolen something, like I think the Statue of Liberty's head or something, is causing havoc in New York, and you're sent out as Daily Bugle reporters to try and find Spider-Man. And it's great fun. Kids will love it again, and adults will love it too. I thought to make a change I would do a top 3 that is my least favourite instead of my top 3's. So those that know me will know what my least favourite ride is, or was, because it's not there anymore. But my 3rd least favourite ride is Hollywood Ride Rocket. When I first went on it, I liked it. Wasn't my favourite, but the last time I went on it, like I advised you earlier in the video, I tried out the special seating because I remember last time it being a bit tight. So I tried out the special seating and found out the row that I was meant to go on, because apparently all the seats, there's only 2 seats on each row, and apparently the seats on that row were modified to that. Got in the seat and I was like, this is not right, because some of them were deeper and some of them were wider, and I wanted to go on the wider ones. Well, it was wrong, and the guy had to push down really hard on the seat because it's a lap bar and I've got bigger legs. My legs like tree trunks. And it got caught on my leg and bruised my leg. And I was scared the whole way through that I was gonna lift out of the seat and break the mechanism, fall out. It was just horrible and so painful. And I think I was in a bit of shock, and I could feel waterworks coming on when the ride finished. So I just needed to get off, and I did. I ended up crying because it was just the scariest time I've ever had on a roller coaster. I'm never scared of roller coasters. I love them. I live for roller coasters, but that just scared the living daylights out of me. So I won't be going on that again anytime soon. My second least favourite is the Transformers ride. They opened it, I think, 2013. It's basically a rip-off of Spider-Man but with Transformers. It's pretty much the exact same story, the exact same mechanism, the same route, and I feel like they copped out by doing that. I feel like they could have done something new with it, or just not brought it to that park, because they've got it in Hollywood but there's no Spider-Man there, so it was a big hit there. But bringing practically the same ride but into a different park than Spider-Man in Florida, I don't think that was a smart idea, Universal. My least favourite ride ever, all time, is Jaws. I hated it. That ride gave me a fear of sharks. In combination with the film, I went on it when I was too young. I saw the film when I was too young, and just the combination of the both, petrified of sharks and petrified of that ride. I hated that ride, and it scarred me for life. I've got video memory of that ride, and even now sometimes I have nightmares when I'm on it and it's a real shark. It's not, you know, obviously it was a robot shark, but I still have nightmares about that ride and about sharks. I have nightmares about sharks when I'm asleep in my bed and the room's filling up with water till it's like level with the actual mattress and there's a shark swimming around. I hate it. But it's gone now. It's gone and replaced with Harry Potter, which is my favourite. The last top 3 category I've got for Universal is food. What can you do? You've got to eat when you walk around a theme park, and having your favourite foods there is always a bonus. So to kick it off, my number 3 is I think they are tacos, but I'm not entirely sure. I think they're tacos. But Bumblebee Man's Taco Shack, I think it's called Taco Shack or whatever, in the Simpsons area. You've got the rides. If you're coming from the main entrance and you're walking towards the Simpson area, you've got the Simpson ride and Moe's Tavern and things on your right, but on the left there's a few like Lard Lad Donuts and a few like pop-up sort of fast food service places, and one of them is Bumblebee Man, the Mexican guy, and the tacos are so good, insane. So if you like Mexican food and you want to be served quick, that normally doesn't have a big queue, and so nice and value for money actually, I think. Yeah, from what I remember, it was a decent price for the food and what you got, so definitely check that out. My number 2 is the churros. You can get churros everywhere, but I particularly like the ones from there, I don't know why. My number 1 food to get in Universal because I think that's the only theme park. No, Universal and SeaWorld serve these, Disney don't, and that's Dippin' Dot ice cream. I love Dippin' Dots, and especially the banana split flavour. Oh my lord, it's so good. So tasty, and it's actually I think it's my favourite ice cream. We don't have it in the UK, and I think I've mentioned them before in a previous top 3 video, I think the Orlando video, but yeah, will forever be my favourite of the Universal snacks. If you like this video, there'll be more to come, more top 3s. If there's anything you want me to do a top 3 of from America, please let me know, comment below, like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.